One of the questions we hear most often from people considering selling their next home is, what should be in my house and what shouldn't be in my house when I'm getting ready to sell? Well, today we're going to talk all about that and share the things that we share with our clients and prepare them for the market. If that's what you're looking for, you're in the right place. And some of the things we're going to share today, you won't find anywhere else on the internet, but right here. We're thrilled you're with us. Let's get into it. If we're meeting for the first time, hello. My name is Alex, and I'm your friend in real estate in Nashville. And I love sharing great content like this to people that are thinking about making their next move, whether that's here into Middle Tennessee and Nashville or anywhere into parts beyond in the rest of the United States or even the world. We help make those connections and introductions before that move happens and before you get into it. So we share great stuff like this. So if you get any value today, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button. And if you really are thinking about your next move, let us know, because you can pop in and get a free 30-minute consultation with us wherever you may be going, whatever your situation may be. We'd love to hear from you. But let's get back to today's video. So one of the things you absolutely cannot have in your house when you're going to sell is cash. Now, I actually learned this absolutely directly, personally, through my own experience of having cash in the house. And listen, like, we go in and out of houses all the time, you guys, and I'm really good at hiding things. And it was truly well hidden in a spot in our kitchen when we were selling one of our houses, and we kept, a good amount of cash on hand just so we didn't have to go to the bank. But we didn't even think about it, that it was in a corner cabinet on the second shelf behind things and an unmarked thing. It didn't have a big arrow on it that was like, money, come take it right here. But sure enough, when we were on the market and had our house on the market, we had, within 4 showings, we realized it was missing. And we couldn't really necessarily say who it was, but we lost several $1,000s in cash. So always be mindful, if you have that cash stash, one, either make sure it's under lock and key or just remove it altogether. And that's a good practice in general as we go through these. Like, if you're worried about it, just remove it, take responsibility for it, and get it under lock and key, or take it completely out of the house. Okay, next is your own personal inventory and irreplaceable items. We all have those things that you just can't replace anymore for whatever reason. And you want to make sure that those things are absolutely secured or removed. As we said in the prior statement, you want to make sure that, again, if you've got great grandmother's pearls or a collection that's super valuable or an item that you just cannot get back, a family member's, vintage military ID. I have my grandfather's World War II military ID from the Marines. So I have that, and you can't replace that. He's not here and we can't go back to doing that. So it would be extremely difficult to replace that. So think about those kinds of things that you just can't get back, that means something to you. We want to go ahead and, as you're prepping for the market, this is one of the things we're proactive about. Go ahead and get into it, get those things out of the way or secured under lock and key when you go to market. Number 3, the thing that should not be in your house when you are selling is you. Now, you may think that's ridiculous because you're like, I know this house better than anyone. I'm going to tell them all about it and all the things I've done over my many years of living here. And that's great. And there can and will be an opportunity for that, but it's generally not on the first, even the second, or maybe even the third or fourth visit. That's really important to you. Your real estate agent of choice could actually help facilitate that at some point prior to closing, and you can tell them all the things, but the transaction and the process is the most important for the timelines and the goals and the financial goals and the yield. So you just want to make sure that you're very intentional as you go through this, that you're like, hey, I'm going to make sure that I'm not there, and I'm going to let them have room for their vision. They want to hear your stories. They're going to love it too, but you got to give them room to get committed and go through this process and have room for their vision first. Then they'd love to hear all those things about, where you first planted the asparagus garden and all the things and all the history and memory that you have, and where the different flowers come up seasonally and all those different kinds of things. There's an opportunity for that, but you want to make sure that you do it in the right time in the process as opposed to at the very beginning. So first things first, don't be there. Second, find and ask for that opportunity to meet your future buyers and when the appropriate time is that won't affect the transaction. Next, this is a new thing that we've started to see a lot in the market, is cameras and surveillance. Now look, we walk around the world carrying a studio in our pockets. Our phones have great mics and great cameras and great Wi-Fi. They can literally connect and broadcast and live stream your showings to the world if you wanted to. showing. So you need to be mindful whether or not you have cameras in your house. You need to do that and disclose that and let buyers know that there's going to be cameras there and that they're going to be watched while they're in the house. That's a choice, and it affects some people. They don't care. There's plenty of other people that absolutely care and makes them uncomfortable, which doesn't have a good feeling about the house for them, which is what we're looking for, right? We're looking for them to have a good feeling. So even if you have a high level of security and cameras, you may want to tone that down just a little bit or a lot while you're in process and on the market. But at minimum, and you do have them, you do need to disclose that probably in your MLS, and you want to have a note out at the front door, because I've worked with clients in the past who it's been a requirement that they not be recorded, and we had to go through that process with a lot of sellers to find out, hey, if there are cameras, we need not to do it because our client is a well-known public figure and they can't be known to be in the market or looking. So that's another piece that can come up that you have to work through, but we manage that. We set showings up and that can be okay. So make sure that if you do have those things, cameras and things up, that you do disclose that, and you make sure that the agent and the buyers have multiple times to see it, but also just be mindful of that when you're out there, right? Your own actions and reactions can and will be recorded and could compromise, your negotiating power and opportunity in this transaction. Okay, next, this is one of my favorites. I go through the market every single week and see this constantly, and this is your own digital security and your digital passwords. Now, when you're in your house, as we are, not a week goes by that I don't go into a house that doesn't have a list of all their passwords out on the side of the refrigerator or on the desktop or on sticky notes around the perimeter of the computer. So take this time. If you're like, hey, I'm getting ready to go to market, go ahead and get a good password software program. Go ahead and take the time. It does take time, I know, to go ahead and load all those things in there, get all the passwords in a secure place, and make sure that all your devices are locked and lockable and under passwords. So make sure that your digital security is under control as well. Now, to that end, little bonus tip right here that's also starting to happen a lot in the market is we recommend to our clients to turn on and set up a guest Wi-Fi and to promote that in the house. Now, why is that? About 50% of showings, at least in our experience here in Middle Tennessee, that we're only having all of the decision makers about 50% of the time. We're all extremely busy. We're all very much on demand. And so what happens if you have an amazing showing and only one of the decision makers there, but two others are available, but they're just not connected? If you don't have that Wi-Fi, you can have the Wi-Fi, you can make the connection, they can pop on there, it'll have a good stream, it'll be high quality, and that will accelerate the whole process towards decision makers. Some decision makers will never even come and visit. A video walkthrough is enough for them. And so make sure you think about having a guest Wi-Fi. That'll give you additional security, but it'll also have your buyers stay longer, and it'll ultimately have them bring in the other decision makers, whomever that may be in their decision-making committee. Okay, guys, we're over halfway. So what's something else that shouldn't be in your house when you're selling? Your pets. Yeah, many times I go into houses and find people that have left their pets that are perfectly well behaved when they're there, and unfortunately, they're not well behaved when strangers show up. And as a pet owner and loving a pet in my life very much, I would never want someone that I didn't know dealing with my pet. And so they should be completely removed. In fact, all evidence of a pet living there when you're going to market should be removed. It should not be able to tell that you have a cat or a dog or a bird or a snake. You shouldn't be able to tell those particular things. It should be that neutral. It should be pet neutral, because the reality is people have allergies to dogs and cats and any number of other things. So you want to make sure that you seem and present as much as pet neutral as all. Pick up the water bowls, pick up the dog food bowls, be mindful of any scents. They're dog beds and cat beds and activity things. You need to make sure that your house is set and staged just right, because if you had a cat allergy and you walk in and you see that, you may know how to solve the problem, but if you're like, oh my gosh, these people have like 10 cats, like I'm out, before it ever even started. So just make sure that you don't have the pets actually, and not much evidence of the pets in the house either for your showings. Okay, next that we come up on our list of what should not be in your house. Now this is unfortunate, but it's something we deal with all the time, and that is prescription medications. We have an opioid crisis here in the United States right now, and unfortunately, and we do run into this quite a bit, that we have people that will target our houses for showings with agents that they don't know, but they've identified through the pictures that this is a house that might have some prescription medication or painkillers. So people that have young families and have been subscribed to some of those opioids, or if it's evident that someone has just had a significant surgery and a painkiller that's been prescribed, they will target that. If you see some of the things, if you see some of the that are the telltale signs that that's happened, then people will go. And we've had it where we've been at open houses, people have walked in the door and gone straight into the bathroom and looking, and we've heard them going through the cabinets. So you want to make sure that if you have those prescription medications and you're using them, then you want to have them under lock and key. And if you've used them up, you need to go ahead and dispose of them appropriately. That's not into the water system, by the way. There are ways to turn that in. Your local pharmacy will allow you to turn in old prescriptions, and they can get disposed of in a proper way so they don't end up in the groundwater and affect other things that they're not supposed to affect. Okay, next is something that's not always talked about, but yet again, we see it all the time. You should have your stuff under lock and key. All of your financial documents, your wills, your trust, your mortgage statement, your bank statement, all of these things. Not a week goes by that we don't run into an opportunity where someone has left all that out. And if you had bad intentions, it would be very easy for them to mess things up, which will definitely mess up the sale and the purchase. If they steal your credit and you have some things, it'll really cause a problem. So you want to be mindful of that. Again, two choices: have it under lock and key at the house that someone can't get to it, or simply remove it to another safe place while your home is on the market. But this is one that not a week goes by that we don't see these things happening. So make sure that you get those all gathered and secured, just in case someone has some bad intentions while they're in your house. Okay, and our final tip that we're going to share with you about what should not be in your house when you're selling is enormous demands. Now, this is something that's starting to happen, and actually we're dealing with, again, all the time in the business, and it's enormous demands that people have about 4, 5, 6 things that you have to do when you come to see the house. The best kind of showing you can get is a private showing with an experienced local agent that knows a lot in the market. That's the absolute best. That's what you're looking for. And when we're on the market, we're actually looking for 2 to 3 of those a week in order to sell within a month. More and more, when we are doing showings in the market, we're having people make these enormous demands about, please remove your shoes, please also put on booties, and please talk below a 7-point decibel, and also do this, and turn on the lights, but then turn them off after you leave, and then put the lockbox in a different place. Like all these if and or buts. It's so many different things. And we commonly will get an appointment, we'll build out our schedule with a buyer's team, we'll build it out to go see 4 or 5 properties. Inevitably, the third showing that we've picked in our order, wherever our client may be or wherever they may be going, wants to rearrange the time. And we've called them in advance and said, hey, well, we want you to come at a different time because I have a meeting going my house. And again, I'm just telling you in a quiet, kind candor that you need to be mindful that when your house is on the market, you need to be as hospitable and flexible and prepared for that as possible. And is it inconvenient? Sure. But don't even have that mindset, have that conversation with your agent well in advance, and to know that you're going to be in a good place with your strategy and that you're going to have plenty of time for it to show. It's, right now it's 2025, right? And we all could have meetings on our phones or on our laptops just about anywhere now. So it's not that big of a deal to move those meetings around, and don't even have that be part of the process. Just say, hey, yeah, we're thrilled we're getting the showing. Another one in the bonus here is that a private showing should truly be a private showing. And so you could actually set your settings with your real estate professional to have it be only that person. Sometimes when you show up and you're on a showing and then there's multiple agents with multiple people, it actually ends up being bad for everybody. Now, people think that can be good, but let's think about that. If you want a private showing and you want to go through and feel it, when you have someone else that's there, not just one other person, you have multiple other people there, that now you're going to really tighten up. You don't know them. They may be your enemy. They may not be your enemy. They may be your competition. They may not be your competition. You just don't know. And that's one of the mistakes we see sellers making a lot, is allowing overlapping overlapping showings. So just a little bonus for you. When you're going through the process, don't allow overlapping showings unless that's a part of your unique or specific strategy. Well, that's it, guys. What did you think about our list of things that should not be in your home when you're there? Did we get them all? Or let us know below in the comments below which one was your favorite, which one hadn't you heard before, and if we left one out, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. We do respond to all these individually and personally. If you found value, please give us a thumbs up and change that subscribe button from red to gray. We really appreciate it. But most importantly, if you found value today, we depend on you, our viewers out there, to help us meet our next client. So please, if we found value and you know someone that we need to know in the next 12 months that are going to buy in Middle Tennessee, it would be our pleasure to earn that opportunity with them. And again, please share this with them. And you can even share this link right here where they can have a free 30-minute consultation with us where we can talk about their specific goals and help them be ready to make sure we get the best deal possible with the least amount of hassle. And we very much appreciate that. So until we connect again, my name is Alex and I'm your friend in real estate in Nashville. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again real soon on the next video. And until we connect again, keep on keeping on.